Hey, what's up? Kokatan Luffy here. So today I've got my hands on Xenoblade Chronicles X. This is the new game in the Xenoblade Chronicles series for the Nintendo Wii U. Unfortunately, it has not come to America, but it's out in Japan, and I was able to get my hands on a Japanese copy of the game due to Play Asia. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to show off the character or the avatar maker, character creation, but I do have some pet peeves I'd like to talk about. I'm really big on sci-fi JRPGs. Like, some of my favorite series are like Phantasy Star and Phantasy Star Online, Phantasy Star, Star Ocean, Xenosaga. I mean, I'm a pretty big fan of all of those kind of games and their style. I'm also pretty big on MMORPGs and character creation in general. I feel games like Soul Calibur has the best character creator of all time. I mean, there's not too many games that are as detailed as Soul Calibur, unless it's like a really big MMO. But anyway, I have some issues. I feel that, and while none of these issues take away from the game itself, I do feel that the character creator in this game is rather limited, and they further limit it by limiting some options for the way characters look based on the pre-select character that you choose. Now, in a lot of games, they have, you know, pre-selected characters, like Phantasy Star, for instance. You select a pre-selected character, and it already has certain options, and you can go ahead and edit from there. Some start off with a neutral character, maybe such as this, and you go ahead and you can change. But as you go and edit this character, you could make this character look like, say, this character or or whatever. But in this game, you don't have that option. You can't actually change the eye shape or the face shape or the nose, the lips, etc. of your character. You have to base them off these pre-selected types. So where I'm going with this is, I feel that the first 6, or at least this one, and this one, are very anime and very anime inspired, very androgynous in their appearance. They kind of just look like your typical anime character. Well, this one looks a little bit more like a male than, say, this one or this one or this one, etc. This one almost looks like this could be an Asian guy or something. And as far as where I'm going with this, these two types look like your typical Caucasian. Or I shouldn't say your typical Caucasian. This actually looks like Tom Cruise. I mean, so I mean, yeah, you kind of have your. This would be like a Caucasian or something like that. Now, as we go on, we have one that would represent, say, a black guy, African American, maybe even Native American. This one would be maybe like Hispanic or something like that. It's almost the same face, actually, just lighter skin. Then as we go on, maybe this might be somebody in the Middle East or something like that with, you know, lighter skin, darker skin, or an older Caucasian. And the last two kind of look like, you know, maybe like an older Japanese guy or an older Asian or something like that. And I could be completely wrong, or maybe even like Pacific Islander or something like that. So I could be completely wrong, and maybe this is just, I don't know, maybe I'm just kind of going off my own stereotypes. But my issue here is, I feel like if you want to have any character that doesn't look like these, I don't know, anime types characters, then they all look like they're over 40. I mean, this type right here, this one and this one, look like they look fairly young, but the rest of them look old, and I kind of dislike that. Reason being, you actually have to select these pre-types, these pre-selected characters, to have access to certain hairstyles. So for instance, I actually wanted to go with this kind of hairstyle. Really quick, I'll go in and I'll show you the options they have available. So they have kind of like this buzz cut or this short, you know, hairstyle. Cornrows. I hate cornrows. Why don't they have dreadlocks in this game? That's my, like, whoa, like, come on, what's going on? Why don't we have dreadlocks? But, and where's your stereotypical afro? Like, every game has, like, a really huge, stupid-looking afro, but not in this game, unfortunately. But maybe, I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately. So anyway, this character type pretty much has the same hair options as this one. So like I was saying, it's kind of like black or Hispanic or Native American, etc. Now this guy, I think it's kind of interesting. This guy has a mohawk. I don't think there's any other character type that you can create that actually has access to a mohawk. Oh, look. Oh no, these are cornrows as well. No. So yeah, so this character type has access to these styles a little bit more, actually, than I thought. But it seems like these certain types pretty much are limited to certain hairstyles. Like, so for instance, if I go to this one and I go down to the hair options, you have more of these kind of anime, kind of flamboyant, Japanese, crazy hairstyles like this, you know. And you don't have access to any of those when you're using the other pre-selected types. I don't really understand why they did that, because in a game that already has very little to offer in terms of character customization, you go ahead and you further limited the options. Like, I was thinking I might even go with this type for my my main character, but the hairstyles, he doesn't have any of the hairstyles that I would want for my character. And obviously some of the hairstyles that I would like aren't even in the game, like maybe dreadlocks or something like that. But like for this character type, for number 3, let me go back. I actually want to use this hairstyle, which kind of reminds me of Zoro from One Piece, but a little bit longer. So yeah, I would pretty much like to use this hairstyle, but for the other character's face. Or even like the buzz cut that I was showing you guys earlier. So I'm not entirely sure why they did this. I feel that it's kind of sloppy. I mean, unless there's something going on that I just don't understand, because, you know, I can't read Japanese. Maybe there's something I'm missing. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments what you think. And pretty much the same, it's pretty much the same deal for females. Like for instance, not to say that anybody wants to make an old woman, you know, there may be somebody who wants to, but you can't, there's no options to make like an older looking face. Actually what I was going to say, and I mean, this looks a little bit older. This actually looks a little bit more realistic, except, you know, her face is kind of wide, but I mean, these two faces are probably more realistic looking compared to, or I want to say these last 4 are a little bit more realistic compared to the rest that all look like, you know, these kind of anime looking characters, which isn't a bad thing. But I do feel that it'd be nice to have options to actually select, to say that the shape of the face, the eyes that you want, the lips you want, the nose that you want, etc. Like most modern MMORPGs. So I'm unsure why they did that. Because I mean, as you can see, the hairstyles exist in the game, but they're limited to specific facial types or specific pre-selected characters. So for instance, maybe we'll go here and we'll look at what hair options she has. So yeah, these look a little bit more realistic. But I mean, like for instance, maybe if I wanted to make a female with curly hair, there's nothing like that here, unfortunately. Or kind of like frizzy kind of hair with a lot of volume. Or dreadlocks, like I'm still gonna be on the dreadlocks thing. So then let's go to this character and go ahead and see what she has to offer. So, actually, I think these hairstyles look a little bit more realistic than the other ones. But, I mean, even so, not all of them are here. Not all of them are here, for whatever reason. I don't know why they limited the hairstyles. They added, like, little things like this, like that's, like, a lot of, you know, customization there. So, I mean, I'm not really sure why they did this. I mean, it just kind of sets me up, like, in a bad mood entering the game for the first time. You have things that are in the game that are limited, really, for no particular reason. So, for instance, if I was going to go ahead and make a character, I'd probably stick with this character type and just go ahead and customize some other things. So, I mean, the graphics do look nice. It's a very good looking game, but there's some drawbacks, unnecessary drawbacks actually as well. I'm not entirely sure why they did stuff like that. I don't know if it adds something to the game that I am unaware of, or there is some reason why you can't select these, or even if they'll have downloadable content, you know, which contains, you know, more hairstyles, which could very well happen. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that you're just limited to these types right here. So I would actually prefer to have a character with shorter hair, almost similar in this style, but just like, you know, short. Not a big deal though. None of this, you know, should take away from the actual game once you get started and you're playing online with other people, because the game actually has online play, which is pretty awesome. You just kind of have to make do with what you have available. But it is a little unfortunate. It kind of rubs me the wrong way as far as offering, you know, different things for different people who are playing the game. But one thing I do really like about this is they have these really crazy looking eye types. Like, you can customize these, like, 2 different colors in your eye and stuff like that. I mean, it looks really awesome. I haven't seen anything like this in any other games, where you can customize like 2 portions of, like, the iris. I think that's what you call like the center portion of your eye or whatever. I think it looks really awesome. So you can go and select like 2 colors, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that looks really awesome. But yeah, outside of that, I don't have too much more to complain about as far as the game goes. I haven't gotten too far or anything like that. I actually haven't even really got started with the game yet. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started pretty soon, and I'll put up a video showing off some gameplay. But I mean, I guess since I'll go ahead and finish this character while I'm talking, but there's a lot of other little things you can do. You can do like kind of like all these little, I don't know, tattoos and stuff like that. That's very unique. That's kind of cool. And I would almost hope that you know, DLC would exist where you can, you know, have different patterns, or maybe even make your own patterns. Maybe you wouldn't have too much of like making your own patterns or anything like that. Hopefully you can change the color of that. I'm a little worried that you're not able to change the color of this. So, I mean, it's just like little stuff like that. I don't understand. It's kind of strange to me. Yeah, it's, I'm not entirely sure what all this other stuff is, but you can also change the height of your character. That's another thing you can do. But you can't really change their proportions other than that. And, you know, I can imagine that's totally something that, you know, should exist. because you can do that in most other, modern games. But anyway, this is probably the character that I'm going to end up sticking with, and gonna go from there. So anyway, that's all for now. Kokuchan Luffy signing out.